Okay, so let's get right into it. We're going to talk about this really powerful idea from author Ford. We're going to look at how one of the most painful things you can go through, divorce, can actually be reframed, not as this terrible ending, but as the very beginning of something pretty amazing.
If you've ever been through a separation, or you're in one right now, yep, that probably hits close to home. That constant noise in your head. And this is meant to meet you right there, in the middle of all that emotional chaos. It's a lonely place to be, and those feelings, they are so real and they are completely valid.
And then, bam! This is the question that changes everything. It asks you to think, what if this huge, gut-wrenching pain isn't just random suffering? What if it actually has a purpose? A deep, spiritual purpose to shake you awake and show you a whole new way of living.
So first things first, we have to acknowledge the storm itself. You can't just skip over the pain, you gotta go through it. But the real key here is how you look at it while you're in it. I love this metaphor. Think of it like this. Your heart, your true self, is like the sun. It's always there, it's always powerful, and it's always whole. All that pain, the anger, the sadness, that's just storm clouds passing in front of it. And yeah, they can be really dark and they can block out the light for a while, but they can't break the sun. Beneath it all, your heart is still there, perfectly intact.
So, if the pain is just a passing cloud, what's it for? That brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. Seeing divorce not as a tragedy, but as a spiritual catalyst.
Look, most of us spend our lives trying to avoid pain, right? We run from it. But the argument here is that pain is actually one of the greatest motivators we have. It makes you ask the big questions you'd otherwise ignore. It pushes you to look for answers in new places. It's the force that can absolutely shatter your old, tired patterns and launch you into a much deeper relationship with yourself.
And this right here, this is the main concept. Let's be clear, when we say spiritual divorce, we're not talking about religion. It's about your perspective. It's an active, conscious choice to use this experience to turn what feels like a devastating loss into a journey of profound personal gain and healing.
Now that sounds like a huge undertaking, doesn't it? Well, the book breaks it all down into a clear roadmap. It's built around these 7 key principles, or spiritual laws. Things like acceptance, responsibility, and forgiveness. And they aren't just fuzzy ideas. They're like a practical, step-by-step guide to get you from the pain you feel right now to the life you actually want to create. Okay, so how do you actually do this? Where do you even begin? Well, this is where the real work starts. And it begins with one huge fundamental shift in where you put your focus.
This is the big one. It's the first and maybe the hardest step. Because as long as you are pointing the finger at them, you're giving away your power. The blame, the resentment, replaying everything they did wrong, it just keeps you stuck. Real healing, real power, it comes when you turn that focus 180 degrees right back onto yourself.
And here's a really practical tool for doing that. It's about separating the story from the facts. The story is all the drama, the fear, the narrative we tell ourselves. My life is over. The facts, they're much simpler. My marriage is over. Not my life. I can handle the changes. You see the difference? Moving from that emotional fiction to simple, solid fact is so liberating. The author, Ford, shares this amazing personal story. She made this long list of all the things she thought her ex-husband, Dan, needed to fix about himself. You know, stop being controlling, stop blaming everyone else. And then she had this aha moment. On a whim, she crossed out his name and wrote her own at the top. And she realized that entire list was a perfect prescription for her own healing. And this leads to a really profound, kind of mind-bending idea called the mirror of relationship. The concept is this. The very things about your partner that drive you absolutely crazy, the things that trigger you the most, they're actually just a reflection of a part of you, a part of yourself that you've pushed down or denied or hidden away. So here's how you can actually use this mirror idea. It's like a little exercise. First, identify that one quality that really pushes your buttons. Is it their stubbornness, their selfishness? Got it? Okay. Second, ask the really tough question. Where am I like that? And be honest. It might show up in a different way, but where is it? And finally, step 3. Find the hidden gift in that quality. What's the positive side of stubbornness? Well, maybe it's determination. What's the gift in selfishness? Maybe it's the ability to set healthy boundaries. See? This turns blame into incredible self-awareness. So once you start doing this inner work, once you shift from blaming them to understanding you clear out all the wreckage. And now you have this clear, open ground to build something new, something truly extraordinary. This next step is all about reframing the entire marriage. Instead of seeing it as this big failure, what if you saw it as a collection of gifts? Ask yourself these questions. Every single relationship, no matter how it ends, teaches us something. Unwrapping these wedding gifts helps you see the whole experience as a net gain for your life.
To really paint a picture of this process, the book uses this great little story about a crab named Grasper. So when a crab outgrows its shell, it has to shed it. And for a while, it's soft and incredibly vulnerable. Divorce feels just like that, doesn't it? You shed your old identity, your old life, and you just feel completely exposed. But that vulnerability, that's exactly where the potential for growth is.
So in the story, Grasper the crab meets this giant crab who drops this pearl of wisdom on him. He learns that to grow into his full potential, he can't just grow a new, harder shell and hide away. No, he has to keep his heart soft and be brave enough to venture out into a bigger world. The lesson is so clear. Real growth requires an open heart, not more armor.
And that's the choice for all of us after a huge life change, isn't it? Do you retreat? Do you build your walls up even higher and go back to the safety of a small, familiar world? Or do you take the risk that comes with being vulnerable, keep your heart open, and step out to create a bigger, more extraordinary life for yourself?
And it all comes down to this beautiful final thought. There comes a point when staying stuck, staying in that tight little bud of pain and blame, becomes harder than taking the risk to heal and grow. So the real question isn't about what happened to you. The question is, what will you choose to create from it, starting right now?